morning, guys. It is Thursday, August 18th. So I missed last week. I did record while I was in Tennessee. However, the file was so big I couldn't upload it, and I'm still new to this. So anyhow, I I just said, oh well. And but anyhow, I'll give you an update. So last week, or first let me just show you. So I put together this book. I mentioned it in my last video that I posted, but I put together this book for myself. It is available in my Etsy store, but I was finding that I was like going back and forth to different books to write down. It just kind of helps me keep accountable and just keep that strong interest in what I'm doing. So let me flip to my debt payoff page. So I have this calendar here, and so last week we paid off a $900 credit card to Synchrony. That was like some jewelry that my husband purchased some years ago. PNC Bank, we paid off $1,279. We paid off Credova, which was $700. I'm actually going to pay the final payment this week. That was for a firearm my husband purchased. And then Kohl's, $2,419. That's me. That's my fault. And then $500 towards my Credit One credit card. So last week we paid off $5,798. So I didn't do a video on that, but that is what we paid. And so we are, I did start tracking a lot of my spending, and a lot of our trip to Tennessee was eating out. Not necessarily while we were there, but strangely it was like, you know, the trip there and the trip home, we, you know, ended up eating a lot. So anyhow, we are now in the, what are we in, the third week of August. And I did go to the grocery store on Sunday, and I think that's the last time I actually spent money on anything. So anyhow, I did start tracking all of the things that we are currently paying off. And so look at all those zeros, guys. Look at all those zeros. So I'm really excited. We'll actually have more zeros, but the way that I'm doing it is I write down like the beginning balance the 1st of August, and then the beginning balance in the 1st of September. And so I'll have some zeros to cross off, but the zeros you see here for the month of September, that's everything that we've already paid off. So I did sell my van. And so I think I maybe mentioned that in my last video, that my plan was to sell my van, the plumbing repairs. So it was $6,000. We did take out a loan, and I paid off the plumber, and I also took out the amount that I would need to pay off my van. So I did go take my van and sold it, paid the difference. So we are now down to one vehicle. However, my 17-year-old has been saving her money for a vehicle. I tried talking her into purchasing a car for $5,000-$6,000, and she has been saving really hard, really wanted something newer. And so I am going to be contributing $5,000 towards her car. That was a promise that I made some years ago. So anyhow, so I went ahead and not co-signed because it's not even in her name, but I did sign for her car. She is extremely financially responsible, much more responsible at her young age than I am at mine. And so anyhow, she is going to be getting a job over the next couple weeks, and she and I will both be knocking out the payments. So she owes a little bit more. She chose the car. Dad and I just kind of signed off on it. But anyhow, my plan, and you'll see in my budget this week, that I am going to be putting, I think it's like $700 a month towards the car. And that's because I'm going to be paying the $5,000, and my goal is to have it paid off by the time that she graduates next year. So she'll still have about $6,000 or $7,000 left to pay on the car. And so her goal is she's going to get a job and she's going to be paying off the car. And then from there, she's already committed herself to start saving for her down payment on her house once she pays off the car. Anyhow, I think I may do a whole video on her budget, or actually what we've talked about is her doing videos with me when she gets paid, to kind of show you from a 17-year-old standpoint where she is going to be putting her paychecks towards, because we are setting up her paychecks as if she's an adult. So, you know, doing 10% savings, doing 25% towards housing, you know, 15% towards transportation, that sort of thing. So we're already going to set her up in the mindset of living within that budget, so she doesn't overextend herself. So having those sinking funds for clothing and medical, things like that. So, anyhow, okay. So my trip to Tennessee was absolutely wonderful. We enjoyed every minute. We did a lot of free things that were just, I mean, honestly, I enjoyed those moments much more than I did when we went to the museums. So on our last day there, we went tubing, and I think that was like my favorite thing. It was the tubing, just because we got stuck on the rocks so much from our weight. We're heavier people. I know you can tell by the video. Anyhow, it was just a lot of fun, tubing in the river. And, we did see a black bear, and, we went riding around in my aunt and uncle's Jeeps, and, it was just really nice to connect with them. And, you know, they've certainly, have much more, I don't want to say many more years, because my aunt would be like, hey, but they have much more wisdom that I really enjoyed. And I think that's something that I've been missing from not having my parents around. My dad died when I was 16. My mom passed away when I was 28. So has it really been? Wow. Yeah, it's been 9 years without my grandmother, who helped raise me, and it's coming up on 8 years that my mom passed. So I've felt like an orphan for too long. So anyhow, I really enjoyed being in their company and just absorbing all of their wisdom. So anyhow, what else has changed since then? So my job that I currently have, they actually extended me an offer, a part-time position. I think I had mentioned that I'm quote PRN, but they've extended me a part-time position. It still doesn't have any benefits, but it's more pay per hour. So technically I'll be able to work less hours for the same amount of pay that I'm bringing in, which is really nice. Because then I can either work more and make more money, or I can enjoy my family more. So anyhow, that has been different. I did update my spreadsheet, and I'm already finished with this year. As far as mapping out our bills, I am interested to see what next year looks like. So I went ahead and spread some of that out to see created next year, actually through 2025, because I'm interested to see where my debt is going to where I'm going to start seeing some relief there. So I am starting to do some financial planning for next year. Next year is going to be really big, and we are going to let's see, next year has a lot of big milestones. I have a daughter who's turning 21. I have a daughter who's turning 18. Then we have my daughter's graduation, and we have to travel to Lynchburg for that, for her graduation, and then she's gonna be starting. We have compromised, negotiated, and she's going to be going to community college here locally, which is like maybe 10 minutes down the road from our house. So we will be cash flowing that expense, but I do need to go ahead and set that up. And then my other daughter went to the dentist yesterday. She has how do I describe it? My husband's been taking her. I'm a nurse, I should know these technical terms, but I don't. But anyhow, she has a misalignment in her jaw. And so she is wearing a device at night that takes and pulls the jaw forward. And so we're making payments on that, but they've already said that she's going to need braces and additional dental work when we're done with that. So I did go ahead and add that into my budget for next year for $3,500 over the course of 2 years. And if you are a prayer, please pray for my daughter, because they actually said that her jaw is starting to shift to the side, and she may need surgery eventually. So we are praying that that doctor just had an off day and his eyes were cattywampus and was looking at something crazy. Bye, buddy.
Did you make the card?
Oh, no, I gotta make your card. Okay, here.
Are you on video?
I am. You want to say hi?
Hi.
There you go, sir. Have a good day at camp. You're welcome. Thank you. And so we are praying that he was wrong in that preliminary diagnosis, and that is not going to happen to our little girl. She has had a really rough year. She was diagnosed with cerebral palsy in October, and we felt really awful for missing that diagnosis, especially since I am a nurse. But I just kind of felt like I never would have put that put that diagnosis to her condition, but it ended up turning out that it's very, very mild, and so that's the reason why we didn't catch it. But anyhow, so my daughter has a gait problem, and you really don't you really can't tell unless you're paying close attention, and really then you just think that it's like a quirk or something. But anyhow, she has a gait issue because her left side is weaker than her right, and it really doesn't come out unless she's physically active. So like, for instance, if we go for long walks and things like that, she tires out pretty quickly. But then we really started noticing, because we started putting the kids more in activities, and she had issues with her balance. So we've been doing physical therapy and we've been doing occupational therapy. We can now successfully have her unlock and lock the door, which was something that we really struggled with before, which that was really important to us, is that she could get out of the house safely. And anyhow, I don't know why I'm going on about this, but welcome to my channel. Just a bunch of rambling. But anyhow, she at that time, it was emotional setback for her, and so she started to act as if she was handicapped, and meaning that like she was handicapping herself mentally, like, I can't do this, I can't do that. But we were really drilling it hard, like, no, you can do these things, you can, you just need extra practice or extra help, extra time, but you can still do all the things that you want to do. So anyhow, so we are hoping that the diagnosis is wrong with the jaw, because mentally she's been through a lot. So anyhow, we're gonna jump right into the budget for this upcoming week, and we'll go from there. All right, bye. All right, so I haven't done any edits. How you're seeing it is how I Usually, so again, every video I tell you this, I go in and I reconcile my bank account. So this column here from August 12th, that is reconciled as of last night. And so I'm going to go ahead and add in my, our paychecks for the week. So let's see. Okay. And okay. And then let me see what all has come out. So we got gas yesterday. Okay. We paid some medical bills. So the 85.62 came out. Okay, that looks like that's all that came out so far. So okay. I just dropped off the check for the van, so that's gonna stay in there probably for a couple more days. Let me see if this has come out. Oh, sorry, that $30. One of the $30 did come out, so we're down to just 45. Okay, and then. Oh, the other 30 came out as well, so it's down to just a $15 copay that we paid. And then, okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving some of these things over that have not come out. So that $45 for gas, I will just... I'm going to adjust that down. I won't leave it there, but clearly I didn't need it. And 78, what is it, 35? Oh, 34, oh well. Okay, then... $38, $14.99, HP printing, and 10405. And, oh, so let me just add that is not the payoff for the van. That includes also my daughter's down payment on the car. So that doesn't, that's not how much I owed on the van. I think I owed $7,000. And my daughter already made a $2,000 deposit for the car. So she's doing a total of around $4,000. Okay, so let me come in here and add in what, I don't think that's saved, right? Otherwise I should be negative. Yeah, the formula was messed up. Sorry you're having to watch me do all this. This is crazy, right? Nope, I want that one. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm going to come in here and put in what is actually in my bank account. I could have just updated
that instead of putting in each individual check, but I felt like I wanted to see how much money, was I spot on with my paychecks. So now I'm going to just go down and take a look and see what we're paying this week. It does look like I'm negative $51.49. So I will double check my account before I move on. So cell phone, $136.77, electric, $347, oil, $80, $250 for food and household expenses, $22 for school lunches. So the way I have it set up is this week and next week we'll actually pay for the full month of September for the kids' school lunches. So that's why I'm go ahead and I'm going to do the sinking funds on that now. And then I have homesteading. I really don't need the full 30. So let me adjust that down. Back down to 15. And then, all right, oil changes. I don't need a full 50. I had done that originally because I didn't think I was going to put money aside last week, but I ended up putting money aside for those things. So I'm still on target for that. Gas, I didn't need the full, all that money. Remember, I just put 45 in there, so we can adjust that back down to 60. Co-pays, so this upcoming week, we actually don't have any appointments scheduled for next week. So this week when I'm doing my bills, it's actually for the week ahead. So co-pays, I don't need the full 90. So I'm just going to put 60 in here. And then if I don't end up using it, then I'll just move it over to an account I have for medical. $450, we are going to be ordering my husband's medication, and let me just pull up my account right now because I think we have right now we have almost $500. The medicine I think is $7, but I need to double check. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll leave $450 just in case, but I think it's $700. It might be $900, but I can't remember. So I'll leave that there until I can talk to my husband. Oops, why did I do that? That was silly. Okay. So then we have $78.35 for the orthodontic plan. Clothing, I am going to leave $40 in there because I do need to order the kids' shoes. Spending money $100. So my husband has another appointment. So you guys, we went back and forth on this yesterday. He has scheduled himself for a tattoo. And I know that that's not like something to me in my mind. I'm like, that's not a priority right now when we're trying to get out of debt. But to him, in his mind, he's like, no, I have, I've been sacrificing and going without, like, he's used to just like, oh, if I want it, buy it, put it on a card, do this, do that. And because I've asked him to, hey, come join me on the dark side, the get out of debt side, can you please stop using your credit cards? And so he's like, this is important to me. I really, really want to finish my tattoo. So I said, you know what? I'm going to work it into the budget and we will find a way to make it all work. So unfortunately, you guys, that's $800. Put in the comments, what would you do? Would you like completely disagree with your husband, or would you respect him that he's new to this journey? And if he's willing to sacrifice, like he has sacrificed eating out, taking out, coffee runs, and he has probably the $800 that he probably would have spent over this time frame in fast food and coffee and miscellaneous spending, he's saving that up for the tattoo, which we're paying cash for. So I don't know, what would you do if you and your husband were in disagreement of this type of expense? Put it in the comments below. Haircuts, I'm going to leave the $20 in there because right now I only have 41, and both of the boys, meaning my husband and my son, they're both going to need haircuts soon. So I'll leave that in there. $38 for Gizmo watches, $14.99 for Xbox Go, $34.99 for gym membership, the HP printing, Splice, Cordova. So this is where we're getting into debt repayment this week. So this week I'm going to be paying off $711. That's going to close out the Cordova account. And then I'll also be paying $853 towards Credit One. That's going to leave me with a balance of $320 that I'll pay off next week. $50 into our long-term savings, and then finalizing that transaction for the van, and then $15 for a medical bill that I paid this week. So that leaves us with $63.51 in our account. I'll leave that in there just as a cushion. And yeah. Anyhow, thank you so much for stopping by and checking in. A final note on the plumbing repairs. So we are still waiting for the insurance to come out. They are now going to send out an adjuster to see if they want to pay for some of these repairs. So I do have Liberty Mutual. If you've had issues with Liberty Mutual, let me know. Put it in the comments. But I'm really displeased with their services, especially the representative. I had to ask for a new claims adjuster because he just was not following through back on emails. This has been ongoing since like 2-3 weeks now, and I still haven't gotten any resolution to this issue. So anyhow, thank you so much, guys, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.